Donald Trump's Georgia rally was an absolute disaster. I've covered on this channel. He was attacking Republicans, attacking the very, very popular Republican governor, Brian Kemp. Conservative, very conservative, popular governor in Georgia, Brian Kemp. He attacked him.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't get involved. I've had you up to here, Brian. I've had you up to here. He's a bad guy, and he's not doing this country a good service.
Instead of attacking his opponent, Kamala Harris, he also attacked Brian Kemp's wife.
But think of the wife. We can never repay you for what you've done, sir. We could have never won. And now she said 2 weeks ago that I will not endorse him because he hasn't earned my endorsement. I haven't earned her endorsement. I have nothing to do with her.
I've got Governor Christie responding to this. I have Laura Ingram, of all people, attacking Donald Trump on this, saying it's not smart. And I've got some anecdotal evidence from a radio host that I think is actually pretty telling. So stay tuned for that. But first, here's this interview from... Thank you so much for watching. If you could please like and subscribe. Liking and subscribing is the best way to get this out into the algorithm. And thank you. Christie.
Impulse. You can't imagine that anybody who understands anything about politics would say, hey, here's a great idea. Go to the National Association of Black Journalists and question whether Kamala Harris is really black or not. This is what happens, George, and this is how you can tell that this race is changing. Because what happens is, when Donald Trump's ahead and he feels like he's comfortably ahead, he is willing to go with conventional, smart political advice. As soon as he thinks it's getting close, he goes back to the greatest hits. You saw this at the convention when he didn't think he was getting the reaction he wanted from the beginning of the speech. He went back to the greatest hits. You saw it at the NABJ, and you saw it last night in Atlanta.
Attacking the Republican governor.
Right. Now, here's Brian Kemp, who he has attacked mercilessly since 2020. Sponsored a primary candidate against him, who, by the way, Kemp got 70% of the vote against in the primary, beat Trump's endorsed candidate. And this is a guy who won big in 2022 when lots of other Republicans up and down the ticket, including in Georgia, were losing. And so to attack Kemp is a stupid thing, but this is who he is, George. This is personal. He's juvenile. And so he's going to continue to attack not only Brian Kemp, but the women of Georgia should have heard loud and clear last night. He attacked First Lady Marty Kemp just as viciously as he attacked the governor.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm glad Chris Christie is at least on the side of democracy. And I really want to focus. I mean, we know who Donald Trump is. We know who he is. He's a narcissist. He's always right. Anyone that goes against him is instantly the enemy. If you support him and you love him, he loves you. But the important thing he's saying here is that Donald Trump feels the heat. You and I are feeling the rise, right? 300 million donations, 175,000 volunteers signed up. You know, the retweets on Kamala Harris campaign accounts are flying. The likes are flying. We get it. There's momentum. And the polls are going up. The polls are going up much higher. And what Chris Christie here is saying here is, I think, really smart. It's something that I've kind of believed in myself too, is that, you know, we know he knows he's losing because he is doing the things that he does when he feels like a cornered animal. He calls it rigged. He attacks anyone and everyone. He's going to the greatest hits of racism. And so this is a man who feels the world around him crumbling. And so he's doing what he thinks he knows to do best, which is what he did in 2016, what he did in 2012 with the birtherism crap. It's not going to work this time. 2024 is not 2016. Kamala Harris is not Hillary Clinton. So this is a great point. I want to show you now what Laura Ingram said. Laura Ingram was like, this is a loser stinker of an attack. Stop it.
Yeah, well, I think, look, when you watch that whole, the National Association of Black Journalists, I mean, he did a phenomenal job at that. You know, there was that one moment where it kind of got all the attention. So that got people completely distracted. Then in Georgia, it was a great crowd. Everyone's really happy. And then, you know, some of it became about Brian Kemp, the Republican governor. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Shooting inside the tent right now of the Republican Party, that's a loser strategy. That's not going to work. They tried that in 2020, and we lost 2 Senate seats. Then in 2022, we had some more. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work for them, works for us. So everyone watching this, just be shush about it. I mean, no one, I don't think any Republicans are going to see this, but I love that Donald Trump is on the attack. He's shooting figuratively within his own party. And so it is not smart. He's attacking the wife of a very popular governor. But what we know about Donald Trump is that he runs on instinct alone. And so it doesn't matter that people are going to tell him this is stupid. Like I said, he feels cornered. He can feel he's losing. So I am telling you all, racism and misogyny does not work in 2024. Not like he thinks it does. Maybe to a subset of his base. People love it. But for independents in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, not working. And I've got some proof. Here is Eric Erickson. Eric Erickson is a radio host. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. You can listen to him live from 12 to 3 p.m. every day. Here's what he said. If you want to understand the problem Trump created for himself, this is beautiful. In Georgia, today on the radio, 9 out of the 10 callers are women, and they're all mad at him for attacking Brian Kemp's wife. So let me ask you this. Do you think Donald Trump is going to apologize for this? Do you think he's going to apologize to Brian Kemp or Brian Kemp's wife, to the women of Georgia? Do you think he's going to apologize to Kamala Harris for saying she turned black? You think he's going to do that? No, of course not. Of course not. The whole point of politics is to broaden your base, appeal to as many voters as possible. Between this childless cat lady and the racist attack, not even a week ago, Donald Trump is losing. He's already losing in the polls. And Kamala Harris hasn't even picked her VP. We're about to go through the Democratic National Convention. I'll be there. I'll be doing some content from there. And he is not really going to have much space between now and November to fix this. And Kamala has tons of momentum. There hasn't even been a concerted effort of like a campaign yet. I mean, like an advertising campaign. So this election, though it's not won, we will not have won it until November 5th. I would much rather be us than them any day, but especially right now.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?